Hello, it's JSV or Joey, whatever you want to call me. And I recently did a video about how SSRIs and Benzos ruined my life. And curiously enough, as I said in the video, I don't have a following. I don't barely have any subscribers or, people who watch these videos. So I had a lot of feedback that was not so positive. There were quite a few positive things. They're left on the board. The negative ones I had to delete. But there are a couple things I wanted to address that someone asked me to in the comments. And a couple things that I wanted to go over that in that video that's like 55 minutes long. I'm very embarrassed by it. However, watching it and going over it with my boyfriend, my support system, he told me I should leave it on because it's good, I guess. I'm more comfortable going through it a little more list-wise. Okay. In the video, I talk about how SSRIs ruined my life. And a lot of the reasons is you're not your best self on SSRIs or Benzos. You are whatever it is that happens to your mind and your character and the way you behave on these mind-altering drugs that either are doping you in a way or making you speedy and act out rashly, or, since I was on so many combinations, you're all of the extremes. I could never keep a job without drama. And I'm not saying that normal people have tons of bickering in their normal lives. But it would be a point where so much anxiety, fear of other people, of talking to anybody, because you isolate yourself at home and then you have to go to work and then you're expected, you have to be around people and customers. I was in retail a lot of the time once I started these pills, and it was very difficult to keep a retail job. To deal with so many people when you are in your own fortress of doom and you're so speedy and bloated or this and that on these pills, you're not your best self. You have no chance. I'm not saying you have no chance, but it's up to you how you deal with it. And me, I didn't deal with it well. And so I didn't do well in any jobs. Stage, because I'm very embarrassed that I shared in that video a lot of things about my musical theater career. I was saying to my boyfriend, oh my goodness, I'm not a real actor. I lost so many jobs because of me being on pills and the behavior that you express, and I'll get into that in more detail. But that's not true. Of course I'm an actor. But also with regular jobs, day jobs, I think I suffered more than my acting jobs because people truly, I don't think people realize how, the psychiatry world is small. So not every family takes medication. At least this was my experience. And in, the normal world, at malls and things that I worked at or a company or whatever, they don't want to hear that, as they say, bull crap or drama or whatever. They don't have any information, nor do they have any empathy, especially in these times. So I was not met with support, so there was no way I could tell. Tell what was going on. I'm taking pills. You don't tell that to your employer, So I thought, oh my goodness, they're gonna think I'm crazy, but you're acting crazy. I feel like I should have been more honest with certain employers, but you can't be, because in the real world people don't understand. And I feel that it was so difficult to hold a job. I'll give you an example. On these pills, there are days where you can't deal with people. When you go to a job, it doesn't matter you can't deal with people. You need to be on the job. That's your job that you're getting paid. You have to push through it. And sometimes it's like you're white knuckling it. And you're like, oh, and you're freaking out inside. And people can really feel this energy. And when you're at work, a lot of the time, and I know that this is true now, I don't give myself so much disrespect for it, like so much like self-hate for it. I used to miss a lot of work, a lot of school, a lot of rehearsal, because I was too embarrassed to be around people when I was going through so much stuff. And it's not just the inner dialogue. On these pills, I had shakes. I would either be overweight and eating everything in sight, or I would be starving myself and I did not want people to notice that I wasn't eating. Or, not to be so, like, I'm not saying that's superficial talking about eating, but also, relationships, keeping plans. No one wants to be the flaky friend. You cancel plans. And sometimes, when you have that day when you wake up and you're like, I'm calling out of work, I'm calling out of rehearsal, I'm calling out of this, I'm calling out of that. Those add up. In the real world, there is no such thing as, like, you know, getting a free pass because of this. So to survive going through the SSRIs and Benzos, reflecting now, looking back, I have to, like, give myself a break, and you have to give yourself a break. Because there is no way we were able to function on this medication. And I feel that it's really important to say that about SSRIs and Benzos when you're on them, and on withdrawal, where I had a question today from a man named John, who asked me what are the symptoms I had during my withdrawal. For the first 6 months, I was in agony. It's kind of like you can't sit in your skin. You feel like you have to get up, but then when you get up, you feel like you have to lay down. And then you're pacing, you're walking around, you're shivering, you're sweating. Okay, you're either really hungry or you're not eating for days, weeks. And then out of nowhere, you'll eat like 10 pizzas. At least that's how I dealt with it. On SSRIs and Benzos, once I started when I was 16, I have to say, I'm not saying I'm blaming it on the pills, because I was always involved and wanted to be a performer, so I was always very aware of what you had to look like. So I'm not saying that my ideas of appearance did not add to this, but once I started pills, I started getting eating disorders. And like I was saying, the extremism of not eating at all or eating a lot and then purging. And I was all about the purging, and it's really dangerous. But I've talked to a lot of other people who are on these pills, and they tell me as well, oh my god, I was like anorexic, I was bulimic, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's not just me. So you have that with the withdrawal, and then chronic fatigue, So like after like 6 months when I was mostly in the house. I didn't go anywhere. And I also gained 50 pounds. About 50 pounds. I'm just exaggerating. Okay. But not exaggerating what I'm about to say. My weight, yeah. Besides the shivering, sleeping was impossible for me. I couldn't sleep. I would stay up all night. And it was kind of funny that during, like, when the daylight was, like, when it was during the day, I would be able to sleep. But that is not good. You have to get as much sunlight as humanly possible with sunscreen if you live in, like, a hotter state or province. Sunscreen. Sounds. You can't sit in your skin all day, but then in the first 8 months, dealing with anybody, I mean, not my boyfriend per se, but like, say, like, people that you already know, like your mom on the phone, your parents or sister on the phone, your mother, someone that you see a lot, that was too much to handle. And any little thing was like going to the grocery store on the withdrawal for the first 8 months. It was like I had to talk myself off a cliff. Like, I would go, no one's looking at you. Calm down, it's okay, it's alright if you're taking a little more time putting in your debit card. Like, it would be that sort of panicky. And I think that's not authentic, but it was during that withdrawal. I was never that anxious on the pills. But during the withdrawal, the anxiety was through the roof. Also, the rage. Laura Delano's Facebook group for withdrawal, I'm so sorry, I forget the name of it. It talks about they post a lot about it, and I've commented and they've said thank you. The rage fits. Rage out of nowhere! And fear. You start to go into this downward spiral of, oh my god, I can't go on because of this, because of that. I will recommend this. Don't watch the news. And stay, like, if you're going to be on social media, like myself, I purposely follow things, like cutesy things, that will brighten my experience with social media. So, like, if I'm on it, I'm seeing, like, kitties or doggies. On top of all the disgusting things that the GOP have always done, but now they have Trump to embolden them, and all that goodness, and all that horribleness, excuse me. Don't do that to yourself. Try to stay off the news, at least, and social media. Keep it light. I don't want this to be a long video, but SSRI, being on SSRIs and Benzos is not fun. It made me develop horrible habits. It caused me being on pills that are supposed to help you with depression and anxiety. I had suicide attempts that were nearly successful. Thank God things stopped them. Now I can say that. Back a few years ago, I could not say that to you. That's not normal for a person. Everyone should want to be alive. And I just find it makes me upset that, nowadays, it took me so long to connect the dots that these pills have only caused me more self-destruction and pain than I had ever done to myself. And have already did to myself with the internalized homophobia and bullying and hatred that I was getting on a daily basis in life on top of SSRIs and Benzos. It was like I didn't have a chance. So when I was presented with all these opportunities in my life, such as amazing theater schools, booking some really fantastic auditions in my life, and then because of not being able to carry relationships, having crazy side effects from pills that range from lashing out to being afraid of people, to not wanting to do things, to having things like shaving your face and taking a shower be a chore. Do you understand when we're in the deepest fogs of our doped up SSRI and benzo depressions? Anyway, I think I've talked enough, and I've let out everything I said in the video, but I just wanted to let the haters, I got the haters that I deleted. This isn't bullcrap. I'm not just a loser. When you're on these pills, it's as if they rob you. They rob you and me of our life experience, of our best selves when they are supposed to help us. And I take issue with that. Because I had great opportunities in my life, and it could have went a different way, and so in others, because of these mind-altering drugs that are supposed to help you. Anyway, I'm JSV, Joey, whatever you want to call me. Thank you so much for watching this, and if you leave a comment, be respectful, because I am a sensitive person and I'm deleting that shit. Alright, mwah, blessed be.